Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Márcio Marinho here. Today, we're going to have a discussion about Java strings, which is a topic that people usually get confused. So let's gonna take a look on how we can create strings, how they behave, a few methods that they have for utility cases such as uppercase, lowercase, size, and so on. So let's gonna deep dive. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys so you can take a look at on my desktop. And the first thing here is let's define a new string. So this string is called name, and I'm gonna write my name on it. So it's basically a variable that is pointing to an object that has the value Márcio inside of it. So it's a sequence of characters, which basically is this variable pointing to, let me draw, and no, I want a shape. So this variable called name points to an object here in the heap. Let me highlight here. Object in the heap, which contains that character sequence, which has Márcio inside of it. So this guy is pretty much a pointer or a reference to that object. So this is the most basic way that strings in Java behave. So once we define that string, we get that reference, which is the variable name, which points to the object in the heap that contains that value. So it's pretty simple. We can even go a little bit further and define a new string, name 2, that's gonna point to a value called Márcio as well. Let me move let's move these objects a little bit down here. Yeah. So as you can see here, they both point to the same value, which means both variables are going to point to the same object here in the heap. So in this case, we're gonna have name 2, which again, it's gonna point to the same object here. This is why these objects they are shared, because they are pointing. The variables are pointing to the exactly same object, because we defined the string using double quotes. And this is pretty neat because we can reuse these objects, and they're also immutable. Let me add another note here. They're immutable. That means once this object gets created, they cannot be modified ever. So for their whole life, they will stay the way they are. Okay. Another way to define a string in Java is invoking the new constructor. So let me call it new name, new string, and call it Márcio. Okay. So this new string here, that's gonna be a new object in the heap. So we're gonna have here name, new name. That's gonna point to a whole new object in the heap. So we're gonna have a new object here, and yeah, let me add a smaller one. So this one it's gonna point to this new object here, which will hold this new value, which is Marcio. Again, which they pretty much will hold the same behavior. And then we can run a few comparisons with these objects, and then we can see the difference between them. So let me delete this thing. So if you compare the references, remember that they are pointers. If you say name equals to name2, that's going to return true because they are referencing the same object. But if we try to say name equals to new name, that's going to return false. Remember that we are comparing the object references, not the object value with double equals. But on the other hand, if we try to say name equals to new name, then this is going to return true. And that's because now we are comparing the strings values instead of the references. So this is the main difference whenever we create and we compare strings in Java. One is the reference comparison, and the other is the content itself comparison. So they are different. And another thing is, whenever we create strings using the constructor, it's going to create a new object. It's not going to reuse the previous objects from that heap pool. So now we're going to deep dive a little bit in the code. So I'm going to minimize my screen, and we're going to the code. So I'm just going to do the same thing I did before. First string Java, second string in Java, name1 equals to Marcio, and the third string is new name equals to new string, which is Marcio. So, and now I'm gonna run those comparisons. Name1 equals to name2. Actually, name equals to name1. And name1 equals to new name. So this one should return true, and this one should return false, as we've seen before. So, and this is the exact values we get from, because they reference the same object in the heap, and the second one, they are referencing different objects in the heap. But now, if I want to test for equality, actually the content of the object, I can say name1, is it equals to new name? If I run again, this one should return true, because the object content is exactly the same. Now I'm gonna get true, false, and then true again, because it's true. Yeah, as I said, these objects, they are immutable. Okay, it's time now to see some interesting methods and operations with strings. So let me just open some space here. I'm gonna delete these things here. So first thing we're gonna do is we're going to concatenate two strings. So I can say name plus space Marinho, which is my last name, and then we'll see it's gonna print Marcio Marinho. What happens here is, as I said before, strings in Java, they are immutable. What this operation is doing is it's creating a new string based on these two strings I'm passing here. So if I do a refactoring here. Introduce variable, full name. It's a good variable name. Then we can see that value is now, inside my variable, because Java simply created a new object based on the content of the two objects I have passed. First from this reference plus the new constant I just gave. Another interesting things in Java String is strings are a sequence of characters. Let me delete everything now. So, as I said, it's a sequence, and then I can have a new array where I have my name on it, CIO. That's it. Yep. So I can then create a new string based on that sequence. And then I'm gonna simply print the name in here. So given that array, which is a character sequence, I can create my new string, which will have a variable name pointing to that object. Another a few interesting things in Java is I can also do the opposite. I can get a new character array. So new sequence. I can do the inverse operation. Instead of creating a new string from a char array, given a string, I can get the char array back. So new sequence, and then it's gonna run the example. I'm gonna have my the same string. String has many interesting methods, so we can also add everything to uppercase. Let me just do the default here. So you can see that now my name is all in uppercase. Likewise, we can add it to lowercase. So all the characters, they will be in lowercase. It's pretty neat. And there are many functions in the Java Strings library. For example, I can get a character at certain index. Let's say, give me the character at the index number 3. So I can get at the index number 3. Let me delete all of this stuff here because it's printing too many things. So once I have created string, give me the character at the index number 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the letter C. Another thing is sometimes we need to have a mutable string, especially when we need to concatenate a lot of stuff, and that's done should not be done using the Java string class, but we can use the string builder class. So let's Java new string builder. So we can simply say string builder append something. And then of course, if we want to give it some space, not to get everything glued together, we can add a single space, append else, string buffer, append another space, and just add something, append, I am here again. So whenever we need that whole string, we can simply say string builder to string. Then what's gonna happen is the string builder class is gonna get all of the strings and assemble them at once. So that's a pretty fast process, and the performance is way better, way better than if we simply use to concatenate the raw strings manually. So this is it for now. I'm gonna stop right here, guys. I hope you have enjoyed our discussions on Java strings. Please give me that like, hit the like button. That helps me with the YouTube's algorithm. Also subscribe to my channel so you will not miss any of my videos. I'll be trying to post videos on a daily basis. And if you have any suggestions, please just write in the comments below so I can take a look at them and plan other talks and other sessions, okay? So I see you guys soon. Peace.